to the 2023 election, which of course is just getting closer, one issue that has continued to be at the front burner is the issue of access to public facilities for campaign. And a recent development specifically that took place in Kaduna State, where a political party had a presidential rally there, and it was disrupted when thugs invaded the public space. Cases abound where some candidates of political parties right to use a particular public space and access is denied. We'll look at that in the course of the program. But a major talking point, as usual, is on issue-based campaign. INEC, through the national chairman, has issued a warning saying anyone found wanting in this regards will be dealt with in accordance to the law. Let's quickly welcome our panelist here. Barrister Patrick Isekwune is a distinguished lawyer, is also a chartered arbitrator and mediator, the Edo State chairman of Nigerian Society of International Lawyers. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. I'm very happy.
We also have with us in the studio the former Edo State chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Benin branch to be specific, Barrister Ede Asenogwa. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Sonny, and good morning, listeners at home.
We also have joining us Barrister Alakwe Umbanefo, a notary public, constitution lawyer, and also human rights lawyer. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Good morning, viewers.
My name is always Sonny Duke Okosi, your host on the program. Let's get started with our conversations on the issue of campaign, issue-based campaigns for the 2023 election. Why is this always a major talking point? Is it that the candidates don't have a message to set to the people, or this is what is synonymous with Nigerian politics, or something that we can say is peculiar to Nigerian politics? Is this a peculiarity about Nigerian politics? Let me begin with you, Barrister Isekwune.
Yes, like you said, it's more or less of peculiarity with our Nigerian politics. And we have to do with individual candidate background. They try to personalize the issue of electioneering, issue of democracy in the country. They try to make it personal. So that is why it goes that way. That it's always the issue base.
Yes, go on. Just go on.
Yes, it's always the issue base because they feel that by running that someone's character will make them, they can sell themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's only paved with. You remember this government that came into this government, present government, which said that it was a propaganda that brought them into power. Some people were saying, they say, oh, it's propaganda. To tell you that it did not even start today. It had been like that. You see, but if it to be a candidate who believe in democracy, where democracy is being given premium, it shouldn't be issue based. It is what your party can offer. Because you are coming there is for your party. It's not you as an individual.
Okay.
It's not an individual. So what you're supposed to do is to sell your manifesto of your party to the public. Not making it personal. Going after John character, how he's good, how he did that, how he did that. Because they know that Nigeria is easily, always easily giving away, believing people when characters are being run down. Forgetting that when you come into office, it's not issue of character, but it's what you can offer. That's what I mean. So they tend to attach a more premium in what's the negative aspect of you. That instead of them selling their intellectual knowledge, what they know, they can offer. So I think they've been having their ways. They've been having their ways. So that's why they always go for it. Because it's cheaper and people are easily deceived.
All right, Barrister Ede Asenogwa, is it easy? I mean, is it possible to take the message away from the messenger? This whole thing that we'll see about personalizing campaign messages, going to personal profile of individuals and stuff like that. Is there any way we can really diverge that from the campaigns, as it were?
Well, thank you very much, Sonny. For me, I do not think that's possible. An office is as important as the occupier. It is who you are that you bring to the office. The office is not going to change you. The office is not going to make you to become what you are not. As a matter of fact, the office will expose who you really are. So for me, your character, the minute you offer yourself for service, you have put your character in issue. Because the people, first of all, want to know who they want to elect. And a function of the kind of persons you want to elect is knowing where you are coming from. Who are you? Where have you been? Where are you coming from? That can guide us into what you are likely to do. But I do not quite agree that our politics has not been issue-based. It has always been issue-based. However, the problem is, what are the issues that we look at, that we concentrate on, that we focus on? That's the issue. For instance, we say, oh, should we have Muslim tickets? It's an issue. Should you be a northern or southern president? It's an issue. Is it that you are a Christian or a Muslim? It's an issue. But are these the correct issues? Are these the right issues that Nigerians should be looking at in deciding who becomes our leader? For me, I do not think so. Rather than look at issues of, how do we tackle our educational problems?
Yes.
How do we tackle insecurity? What are your recipe for the problems that we have with security? How do we handle infrastructure? You know, how do we look at our health sector? How do we prevent our politicians from going to America and Europe to go and treat headache or even ear pain or common cold? How do we do all of that?
Okay, let me pause you for a moment. I'll come back to you
Yes.
in a bit. State politics today on independent television and radio.
The political parties are not known for specific ideologies. So if, for instance, our parties are ideologically based, you will find that by your very nature, there are some political parties that you cannot just belong to. But in Nigeria, it's not so. So everybody can be in any political party, insofar as that particular political party is going to advance your personal interest. So for me, that's where we are. That's the problem we have.
Okay.
So until Nigerians begin to, interrogate the proper issues, we'll continue to have problems. We'll continue to have mediocres coming into position because they have learned a situation where Nigerians are so impoverished, and then they become very gullible and vulnerable. And every little distraction.
Okay.
We are where we are.
Bras Alakwe, let's get your take on this. Is it because this is the message the electorates can easily relate with, or this is just a manipulative disposition of the candidates or the political parties as we witness what is going on?
Yeah, I think it has to do with the mindset of the politicians themselves. In Nigeria, our politicians sees politicking as a business. In this, civilized climes, what people consider most, the politicians consider most, is national interest. The country comes first before the party, before individual interest, before political interest and all that. The nation first.
Okay.
During the time Barack Obama, former American president, was running for presidency of America, he was he's a Democrat. Okay. Then he was a Democrat as well.
Okay.
And then McCain was running for.
All right, let me just pause you there. Let's get you, Bras Alakwe, to quickly.
Yes, so it's like I was saying, during the period Obama was running for American presidency.
Yes.
He was a Democrat, and then McCain was for Republican Party.
Yes.
And at that time, America was in recession, and America wanted to see how they can get out of recession. Now, General Colin Powell called a press conference. In that press conference, he told Americans that McCain is a Republican, and himself, General Powell, is equally a Republican. But looking at the crisis in the U.S., that what is paramount to them is national interest, and that he sees Obama as a better candidate that can solve that problem in the U.S., and not McCain. Though McCain is a very good friend and a party faithful and a member of the Republican Party, but America comes first, not the party.
Yeah.
So the reverse is the case in Nigeria, because the Nigerian politicians appear to have, their personal interest and their party interest as a priority beyond that of national interest. So as it is right now, my take here is that the issues that they ought to have looked at, or they're supposed to look at, are issues that borders on what are our problems and how do we solve these problems. Like my learned senior had just said here, he talked about the economy, he talked about insecurity, he talked about infrastructure, industries and all that. You know, how do we deal with all this unemployment? We can see what is happening now. Nigeria is a country with all the natural resources. We can't even pay our lecturers. ASU have been on strike for the past 7-8 months, and we're talking about it. So we want these people to tell us.
No, that's not exclusive to Nigeria. Even in Ghana recently, we had our lecturers also in strike over some allowances that have not been paid.
Nigeria is too rich to be compared to Ghana. The inability of the federal government to pay ASU, to me, is a national embarrassment. You understand? The foreign exchange is so high now. A dollar is 7.16. Pound sterling is about 800 something naira. Euro is 7 something. We should be talking about how do we bring the economy to fall? How do we revive the economy? How do we change all this? What is going to be the foreign policy of this country in the next few months to come after the election? We want a presidential candidate that can discuss issues, and not whether you're a Yoruba man or an Hausa man. Of course, you are aware of what happened a few days ago, where a particular presidential candidate was saying that the people from his own part of the country should not vote for Igbo president, they shouldn't vote for Yoruba president, they should vote for an Hausa president. And how does that touch on the life of the people? How can this statement change the people? What Nigerians need is not an Hausa president or a Yoruba president or an Igbo president. What they need is a man that can change the course of history, a man that can bring us back to, back to the Committee of Nations, a man that can revive the economy, a man that can change the security apparatus, a man that can bring agriculture back to fore, a man that can put smiles on the face of young graduates who can get jobs, a man that can be able to pay the salaries of the civil servants, a man that can afford to have, create jobs for the unemployed, a man that can change the infrastructure of the country, a man that can look at, the issue of flooding that is now ravaging the whole nation. I said, what do we do? How do we assemble scientists? How do we assemble them? Who can give us ideas on how to ensure that flooding does not take away the agricultural, farmlands and all that. So these are what we're supposed to look at, and not as to whether, you are from this party or it's my turn. Some people have even said it is their turn. They're not telling us what they want to do to.
No, they have a right. If they have a right to make such claims.
Yes. And all that. So I think looking at like my friend was just saying now, the issue of medical tourism and all that. We need a president that can tell us what he's going to do as far as the issue of the medical sector is concerned, to revive the medical sector. All right. So that Nigeria can seek for medical...
Let me pause you there, Barrister Alakwe. Barrister Patrick Isekwene, do you think that if these political parties, they have well-defined manifestos, they have an identity, just like Barrister Ede Asenogwa referenced a while ago, it will help in selling the message? Because what you hear today is that, this presidential candidate has unveiled his plans for the people if he gets the opportunity to become the president. We talk less about the party manifestos. We see less of the party manifestos. We see more and hear more and talk more about the plans of a particular candidate of a political party. You think this is the crux of the matter?
Duke, I must confess to you that it's not. I doubt. That's not the. You see, when you try to solve a particular problem, not like issue we raise now, and you're able to solve it, it means you have a fundamental problem. We must go back to the basis. It's not solvable. You can have a fantastic manifesto, best in the world, but here it won't work because of our basis, our foundation. 1914, that's our greatest disaster. Journey together. So in Nigeria, there's no unity, there's no love. But my America have said so much about America. It's okay with that way, but not here. So if you watch our political antecedents, it's based on all elections is based on ethnicity and religion. So Mr. Amos might have the best manifesto of the full party. I'm not interested. Because our election is always, I told you, ethnicity and religion. They don't believe in competence, so they don't believe in competence. It's ethnicity and religion. Oh, it's my social person. They don't believe. So the man you want to say, oh, you have the best, they're not interested. Because of the ethnicity issue that have been in bed of our politics, even up to this moment. Nobody cares about that. That's why I say it won't work. They must go back to the business. Oh, if he has one leg or one eye, leave him, he's my brother. We're going to vote for him. It's incompetent. So don't believe like competence or non-competence. It's an counter which are eating deeply into the political system. Issue of ethnicity. That is why it won't work. No matter how beautiful the party manifesto may be, they must go back to issue of their own person.
Okay.
That's why I doubt if that one will work, because they are not. Somebody just made a statement that, oh no, don't vote for Igbo, don't vote for Yoruba. So you don't even care of anything whether the manifesto of the party and the message. You know that the message people quickly react, but you know that you can get them easily just to get ethnic support. Forgetting that the most important thing is to think about the manifesto of the party or what the candidate can offer. What they had intellectual capacity to move this nation, they are not interested.
Okay.
So it will be very, very difficult to have most compared to you.
All right,
to be honest.
but do you share in these sentiments?
Well, I think on this call, I will heap the blame at the doorstep of the electorate. The politician and the political class, the political party, their primary focus is to win power, is to get into power. And for you to get into power, you need the electorate to vote.
Yeah.
To that extent, which is the primary focus of a political party, they look at the indices, they look at what's on ground, and they try to bring out those things that they can give to the people, for the people to elect them into power. For them, the primary focus is how do we get power?
How do we win the election?
How do we win the election? Now, they are coming to the electorate. What do we tell them? We have seen situations where, oh, we can buy their votes. So don't worry, if you like, you perform. If you like, you don't perform. When it's election time, pull out the money, buy the votes, and you get back to power. Oh, Nigerians are becoming wiser. Oh, we don't want to take your money. Or even when we take your money, we still want to listen to somebody that can pull us out. You go to a particular place. You tell them what they want to hear. The man who we say, oh, went to his brother and say, oh, don't go and vote for another person. Oh. That is because the electorate want to hear such a thing. And whether you like it or not, that statement alone sits very well and very comfortably with some Nigerians. The ethnic factor. They go to another place. They play the religious card. Because that set of people they are addressing, that's what they want to hear. You come to another place. You say, oh, that man, this is what he has done before. He's a tifo. That's what some people want to hear. So, as far as I'm concerned, in that regard, I do not blame the political class. I blame the electorates who are swayed by these mundane issues. Do you understand? So, for instance, if you come to me now, and like you are talking about the manifesto of the political parties, it's nonsense. People sit down. They have consultants who will write this manifesto. The candidates are not part of that manifesto. I will give this present government as an example. The president that we have does not know 5% of what's contained in the party manifesto. During the elections, we had things like, oh, graduates will be paid allowances, you know, and when Mr. President came and they said, did we say that? Did APC say that? So for me, you find that manifestos are just a product of some persons who have come to sit down, put up a beautiful paper for those who are interested in reading. And when the man gets there, he throws that document away. All the promises of this present government at the federal level, which one? I'm not sure the president has even looked at the manifesto that brought him into office. He has not. And he has not achieved anyone. The candidates themselves may have their personal idea, personal agenda. Oh, they come, oh, 5 points, 3 points, 2 points agenda. That may be their person. It ought not to even be so. And that's why I said just now that the parties are ideological-less. Because if the parties are built on ideologies, You key into the one that suits you. In those days, we used to know what UPN stands for. If you tell somebody now, oh, you are UPN, oh, free education, free health, these are the kind of things that come to your mind.
Yeah.
MPN tells you, no, we don't believe in free education, we believe in quality education, but you must pay for it. You know, NPP, this is what they stand for. Yeah. Those days you talk about Action Congress, these are the kind of... So, here in Nigeria today, you are in PDP today, you are in APC tomorrow, you are in Afghanistan tomorrow, back to PDP the other day, and before election you are in Labour Party, just like that. So the man himself does not have an agenda. He does not have an ideology. The political party does not have an ideology. And so Nigerians must sit back. We must begin to interrogate those who are aspiring to lead us. And that's why I said just now, we can't rule out who you have been.
Yeah.
You must tell us, who have you been? Where are you coming from? What have you been doing? We can't wish it away. Because the age they are, the stage they are now, they are not going to, the crayfish is already bent as they according to them. You can't straighten it now. So if a man who has the penchant for stealing becomes president, he will steal. If a man who has been tried in a little position and he didn't perform, why should we give him a higher responsibility? If a man who owes allegiance to some godfathers in some corners and in some quarters, who of course do not have genuine intentions for the nation, and he's the one that is, these are the people sponsoring him, and he will answer to them, why should we give them a chance?
Okay.
So we must look at all of this together. The manifestos, yes, sometimes you look at them, they may be beautiful, but how connected are the candidates themselves to that manifesto?
All right,
is it their product?
Yeah.
Did it come from them? Or some people just gave to them and then they read it, and when they get into
so by Salakwe, I'd like you to take this further. Would you be comfortable to say that this consistent disconnect between the parties and the candidate has given rise to this? Because every now and then, the party is always in existence before the candidate emerges. One would expect that naturally that should be a basis for us to have a synergy between the party manifesto or whatever plans or visions the candidate has. But that doesn't happen. So would you say this semi-disconnection is what is giving rise to this?
There are so many issues that is giving rise to all that we're discussing here, right? And beyond leaving one party to the other party and all that, yeah, we expect that the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution as amended, ought to have cured this.
Okay.
Because the 1999 Constitution as amended says that if you are one particular party and you now move from that party to the other party, you automatically lose your seat as a member of the National Assembly. But this is what the law says. But how many members of the National Assembly have lost their offices?
On account of moving? On
account of leaving their party to the other party. You see the whole thing. So, if you ask me, my own opinion is this, is that the Nigerian political class has kind of monetized politics in Nigeria. And it is taking a toll on the populace because one, a few years ago, we heard about a new political lexicon, stomach infrastructure. And of course, I don't know how to put it, the Nigerian politicians, so to speak, has also kind of impoverished the citizenry. And since the citizenry is impoverished, then the issue of vote buying came on board. And so a man who has not taken a 3 square meal for the past 5 days, on the election day, somebody is giving him a certain amount of money. Like my very good friend said,
yeah.
He's bound to forget about the party, but whatever the party manifesto is saying. I collect that money to cast his vote somewhere. And of course, in Nigeria, between 1967 and 1970, there was a civil war in this country.
Yeah.
Wherein what they call Kwashoko then came to be. The then government of Yakubu Gowon and concluded that hunger was an instrument of war. And if hunger was an instrument of war, if reliefs is stopped or food items is stopped from going to eastern Nigeria, they'll be hungry. And if they're hungry, they will not have power to fight again. So millions of people from the east died due to hunger and starvation. And in fact that was stopped. So what the ruling class is applying now is that the ruling class is kind of, recolonizing us. They are recolonizing us. So every Nigerian now is as the beck and call of the ruling class. So it appears we don't even have our own say. That no matter what we do, they detect what happens at the end of the day.
Okay.
Right now, if the only way out, sir, is if it is possible to have a free and fair election. From what is happening right now, there's a movement going on in Nigeria right now. That movement can only be achievable where the Electoral Act is allowed to take its precedence. For instance, on the issue of electronic voting. If the results are transmitted electronically and INEC is able to live up to their words, then the votes can count. But where Electoral Act fails and where INEC fails or takes away their eyes from electronic voting and transmission of results, then we are at the mercy of the ruling class.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's very embarrassing that we, even with our votes and so-called voters card, may not even dictate our future. And it therefore means that the tragedy is that nobody knows if 2023 first, if 2023 first, I'm sorry to say that the whole future may be completely bleak as far as this country is concerned. In OSA, there are so many factors that is actually the cause of these issues we are discussing right now. And so the only way out, sir, is for Nigerians to take their destiny on their own hands. Fantastic. And vote for the candidate that they feel that can deliver.
Okay, something that is tangential to this conversation is the spate of access to public facilities for campaigns. I mean, this has been a recurring decimal in our political space, and it's also rearing its ugly head again. How do we deal with this issue? I mean, take for example the incident that happened in Kaduna State where a party was having their campaign and thugs invaded the facility and disrupted the campaign. There's also a story about how a presidential candidate, some mobilization group wanted to use a particular public facility. Access was denied. How does this, resonate with you? Denying opposition party, because it's always like that, mostly in the States. You have a party in government, and then you have an opposition party that probably wants to use a public space for a campaign. Access is denied. One excuse or the other is given. Is this healthy for our polity, Mr. Shekwele?
It's not healthy at all. It's not healthy at all. It's like the issue of issue base. It's inherent in our political system. Issue base we just discussed now. It's the same thing. That's how it's at play. Like I said, these people try to personalize issues. For that government is for the people. It's for the people, because you know that by virtue of Section 14 of our Constitution and Grand Law, make it clear, one, that Nigeria shall be a country. That's why we made it clear, based on democracy and social justice. That's our basis. So I expect our thinking, these are fundamental objectives. If you go to read the Constitution, this is why I expect them to think and reason. That is not a personal thing. So we must go with the tenant that go with democracy. So you must not be there to penalize issue, whereby these parties are not private. It's their own government owned. I'm like, the government registered them. Now government monitor them. Okay. So why should you now opposition from using avenue? So it has been on. It has been playing from time immemorial. I remember during, as I just mentioned, during Oshobele time, and the other point with the other side, now this is They have been denying venue to venue. A day to see, you just the announcement. Oh, venue have been changed. The ruling government said no, they will not allow access. So sometimes people will be confused where to move the next morning. They have no venue. I remember the last one that I called, they say, oh, Garlic was initially. At the 11th hour, they say it's no longer available. That I'm not moving to give him the stop answer. So, but so if you believe in democracy, couldn't I believe in the primary attack to democracy, we don't allow this thing to happen. You understand me? Because the primary purpose of being in government is for the welfare and for the security and welfare of the people. It's for the good and governance of the people. And the people have the role to play. They have the role to play. So the people, like the Secretary also told the bus, I said, power belongs to the people. With whom the government and the constitution have the power from. Without the people, you are nowhere. The people. Solomon, popular Superman, as the will of the people is supreme. They have the final say. But what do we have now? They are against the constitution, the opposite. You understand me? So that's why the saying goes that in a country where the masses are afraid of the government in power, it means that there's a tyranny in that nation. Where the masses are afraid of government. It shows there's tyranny. Whereas the power belongs to you. Who even donated the power to them? They are just mere servants, but they turn it opposite. You understand me? So in a state whereby the people are not afraid of their government, it shows there is liberty.
Okay.
You are free. You understand me? There's some statement you will make here today. As I was speaking here, I know that we are even being monitored, tailored. Our statement here. Is that not tyranny?
Okay, let's stay on course.
Expression of it's a issue of opinion. As expressed by Section 39, I'm allowed to express my opinion. But you try it here now. I think it might be shut down.
No, but if you have to, where your rights ends, another person's rights begins. And so when you want to make statements, there be statements that are founded.
It's subjective.
Statement that has evidence. Statement that can be backed up, that can be verified. That's why one of the presidential candidates is always asking you to go and verify.
That is why, sir.
Yes,
that is why we have problem in this country. Issue of subjectiveness. You are aware, like when Mbanekwe said, our electoral has made it clear that even if you decamp, automatically you lose your seat. But that's what that means, because it was not total, it's subjective. He said, if there is crisis, you can leave.
So you can create a crisis.
Yeah, crisis.
And use that as a basis to move.
If you leave without no, that's where the constitution.
All right, by side, let me get you here. Access to public facilities for campaigns and the denial of saying. Is also a political strategy?
Well, there's something I wanted to say. The last question you asked my brother Mbanefo on the disconnect between the political parties
and the candidates.
The candidates. I think the problem started when power left the parties to government.
Okay.
Government is different from the party. If a particular party wins government, they are in government, but the party remains supreme. The party guides the government because it's their government. This is our manifesto. The government is bound to work with the party manifesto. Now, in those days, if a particular governor is not working in line with the belief, the ideology of the political party can call such a governor to order. But gradually, we began to see that once you become a governor, you take over the structure of the party.
As a leader of the party.
It is wrong. Governorship, president should not ordinarily make you the leader of the political party gave rise to you. The political party made you what you are. You cannot all of a sudden, because you have become a governor, you now become the leader all of a sudden of the political party. A major problem. And that's why you find that everything now revolves around the governors. In Nigeria today, you become a governor, you take over the party, you take over the House of Assembly, you take over the local government, you even struggle to take over the judiciary. We can't make progress like that. So the parties must go back to the basics and realize their role, their powers, and their limits. Where government should also understand that you are in government, but leave politics aside. The day you become a governor, you are governor of everybody, and not a governor of a particular set of a particular political party. Now, coming to this issue of access to facilities for political activities, there is no saying that it is wrong. everybody should be given equal, that's what they call a level playing field. Everybody should have access. And so if there are conditions or criteria to be met, as long as those conditions or criteria are met, then access should be allowed. It is when you believe that, probably you do not have a superior position, a superior argument, a superior campaign, you are afraid of opposition, that's when you don't allow them to come to your place to campaign. Yes, to them, like I have said, for them is strategy. How do we win? How do we defeat these people? They want to come and campaign if we put all those on their way. But somehow, with the enlightened, that may even be an advantage to them. If, for instance, a particular political party is coming to Edo to campaign, and it is not the government in power, we are seeing all the paraphernalia, all the activities, all the welcoming that we are giving to our PDP presidential candidate, because today Edo is a PDP state.
Yes.
Now, we will wait. Let us see when any other political party comes. If they are denied access, for some of us, that would be a basis to question the government. You are trying to suppress, you are trying to prevent these people access from talking to the people. And the minute you do that, some of these people will begin to get sympathy. Sympathy should come. Why are you stopping these people? Why are you preventing them? Why are you trying to frustrate them? If you know you have superior arguments, let them say their own, you say your own, and then the people will assess. But when you shut out a particular group, it is unfair, it is unjust, at least to the ordinary, electorate. It is. But for the politicians, they laugh and drink champagne over it.
It's a strategy.
It's a strategy.
Okay.
So we shouldn't allow some of these unhealthy strategies of politicians to continue to fester.
Manefo, yes, let's get to perspective on this. Access to public facilities.
Yes, access to...
Because whether it's the government, any government in power, as it were, those facilities, they are not their private property. It belongs to the people. Exactly. And the people in the state or in the country, they pay tax, whether you are in PDP, whether you are in APC, irrespective of the party that you belong to. Yeah. Should this naturally be part of our political conversation?
No, sir. It is an aberration for a governor of a state or a party chairman to stop another party from using a stadium, which is a public place, which was built with taxpayers' money. It's an aberration. And, what it means is that the governors or the party chairman, the state party chairman, as the case may be, is arrogating powers to themselves which they do not have. There is no law in Nigeria that permits a governor of a state or a party chairman from stopping another party from using the same facility like stadium or a public place from campaigning. And again, if you are not stopping the other party from using the public place to campaign, what is your interest? What do you intend to achieve, by it? And so, what we have in this country is a situation whereby, people in power appear to be more powerful than institutions. When it ought to go the other way around. Institutions supposed to be more powerful than people in power. But it is the institution that is even supposed to checkmate the people in power. But it's necessary that the people in power are becoming more powerful than the institutions. Otherwise, if a governor of a state or a party chairman stops another party from using a public place like stadium, it should be actionable. It should be actionable. Okay. So it is very, very wrong for that to be allowed to happen. And again, it sends a very, very wrong signal, because what it implies is that a governor of a state attends, a state executive meeting. He attends security meeting. He is part and parcel of the government in power. So asking another party not to use the stadium amounts to impunity. It amounts to impunity because you cannot arrogate powers to yourself. You cannot, resort to self-help. If there's like my little friend said, if there's any reason for which you cannot make it use the stadium, you make it clear. If there's any amount that is supposed to be paid by other party to use, allow them to pay the money. Okay. But you cannot stop them from using the place for
and get views
campaign.
And perspectives from viewers and listeners from across the world. The studio line is 070-8365-1320. You can dial that number right now, right away, and be part of Politics Today on independent television and radio. 070-8365-1320. Hello, caller. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Please be brief because others are waiting. And also endeavor to turn down the audio level on your television or radio set to remove the echo. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead with your contribution. Good morning, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Please turn down the audio level on the TV or radio set to remove the echo. Very, very important, so we can have a very meaningful conversation. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Please turn down the audio level on your TV or radio set to remove the echo. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm calling from Benin. We've got you on the line.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, about this, we are discussing about this 2023 election. The destiny of this election is our hand. There's no how we're going to do it. By God's grace, God will give us the good leader.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Straight to the point, I really appreciate you for that. 0708-365-1320. That's our studio number. Your name and where you're calling from. Good morning, caller. What's your name?
Good morning, Pastor Sonny Duke.
Yes, Pastor Sonny Gadosa. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Greet your guest this morning. I agree with almost everything that's been said. The one I did not agree with Barrister Bonefo is the one that said that we had their beck and call. Some of us prefer to suffer than to be at the beck and call of any politician. We will not do that, and we will never do that. In this state now, we have, from 1999, we have tried to stay on track so that we will not become an obstacle to what we have been talking against. Like they have said, especially by Sadio Sonogwa, I'd like to add to what he has said, that what we should be asking is not that security is inside. If you were privileged to listen to someone like Keyamo yesterday, sir, you will hear some of the things when he was asked to apologize. We did apologize to Nigeria. Some of the things that he said was very annoying. Well, the privilege to also listen to the one from the PDP side, that's Don Pedro. It seems as though they are in charge, they decide what happened. And the question I want the journalists like you who have been there to ask is not that you give us security. What the how? We need to know the how. Yes, we're going to come out of poverty. How? You are going to make us become better than this. We need to know the how. Okay. If you cannot give us the how, Nigeria should not support us. They cannot tell us how we are going to come out of it. Thank you. Good morning.
All right, Sonny Gadosa, thank you again for being straight to the point. We appreciate you for the views canvassed. Good morning, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. You need to speak up a little bit. Good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I'm Success calling from Benin.
Success. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. The major issue now is that can this campaign go digital? As in, can these politicians say themselves from the comfort of their office instead of accessing a public facility?
Okay.
I think it is that time we go digital in our campaign. It does not necessarily mean crowds moving along politicians. I think it's our time Nigerians stop magnifying and glorifying politicians in their actions, because this it could imbibe and intrigue them with some level of pride, and this pride would therefore toss their mind concentrating on the major issues. Okay. That is developing the country. That's my take.
All right, thank you very much. Let's just get back to the studio for a moment. People say 2023 is a watershed as far as Nigeria's unity, progress, and development is concerned. How realistic is that, Barrister Shekono? 1 minute.
Well, they're entitled to their opinion, but me, I share a different view. What's
your different view?
My view is that the only way forward in this country, I don't need to pretend, is for us to structure this country. What I mean to structure, I've said it severally, is allow every geographical zone remain. I mean, the north-south zone, another part of the country, to stay on their own. Let the west stay, let the south stay. But we want Nigeria, we need to structure. So, but can we name United States of Nigeria? Like United, we're not disintegrating. We are one. But more or less we'll call configuration. Okay. More or less, configuration, a total resource control. Okay. Be in charge of your economy. When there's a need for national to contribute, you contribute. You see, there will be progress in this country. Not the way it is now, but this is ourselves. If you think that by this election, there will be this, I'm not expecting anything by 2023. Because it's
So
like
you are
yes,
pessimistic.
that is
You're
yes.
pessimistic
Without
about it.
structuring, we have seen ourselves. Because it's like pouring water in a basket. You can never hold water. A country where snakes swallow money. A country where
All right, but let me get your take.
so it's a lot of abracadabra.
Yeah.
So it's going to be funny. So
yes.
I just think of the matter.
I think Nigerians, to a large extent, there's something about 2023. Nigerians are tired. Nigerians want to have a different kind of change. We had a particular kind of change in 2015. I'm sure this was not the kind of change Nigerians expected. So we want to change that change. We want a different change. A change where Nigerians will decide, not on the basis of ethnicity, not on the basis of religion, not on the basis of whether you are a northerner or a southerner, not on the basis of whether you are a Christian or a Muslim, but on the basis of what you can deliver. And that's why I like what the person said. You said, oh, we will give you security. How? Nigerians voted for somebody they saw as a general. Oh, he will be able to tackle the security system.
Challenges.
So
he's not as young as he used to be.
Oh, he didn't know when he was campaigning? Why didn't he tell Nigerians that, oh, I want to do this, but you know I'm not as young.
A younger person,
oh, he didn't know when he was coming into office, when he was asking Nigerians for the vote. So for me, it's not just about saying, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. Nigerians must go further. Is this person, does he have the character? Does he have the pedigree to achieve what he's saying he's going to achieve? Does he have the health? Does he have age on his side? Because you have just told us now. Like when Mr. President said, oh, I wish I was younger. And today again, we are looking for the old brigades. You know, so for me, sometimes too, I do not just heap it all on age. Okay. You know, because there was this statement by Barack Obama then, I think, where he was campaigning and he was talking about McCain. I said, what worries him? It's not the age of his opponent, but the age of his mentality. So you may be old a little bit, but if you have the experience and you have the mentality, the right mentality, you could change things.
Barrister Ombanefo, watershed 2023, a watershed for Nigeria. Do you think that's possible?
It is possible if the powers that be
So there is a condition.
allows free and fair and credible election. If power that be allows the Electoral Act, especially the section that talked about electronic voting and the electronic transmission of votes works out. If the people's vote counts, then there is a watershed. Okay. But in the absence of that, I feel that Nigeria is possible to be negotiated if this marriage has broken down irretrievably. There's nothing wrong in having the Republic of Northern Nigeria
we always kick against
and the Republic of Southern Nigeria.
Against divorce.
But
in all ramifications. Anyways, hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Good morning.
My name is Dr. Shegun.
Yes, Dr. Shegun, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Ego.
Go ahead, please. Okay, that's the much we have for you on the program today. Politics Today on independent television and radio. A major takeaway from our conversation today is that Nigerians should take their destinies in their own hands.
yes,
Different people have come forth with different messages belonging to different political parties in the race for the 2023. We need to distill what they are saying and make sense out of it before we take a firm decision. It's not enough to say you build roads, you provide security, you change the perspectives and narratives about the economy, you ensure that there is equity and fairness, there is justice in the country, you ensure that infrastructures are built. That's laudable, that's good. But the most critical question that we all need to continually and consistently ask is the how. When you can't give us the answers to the hows on the things that you want to do, it means that you're not qualified to lead this country. This should be the line of our conversation. This should be the line of our engagement. We may be hungry today, but if we don't change the narratives of 2023, hungry may lead to death. And that's certainly not what we wish you all. That's a wrap on the show today. Barrister Manafo, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Barrister Adesanogwa, thank you for coming.
Thank you so
Barrister
very much.
Sekune, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And to all our viewers and listeners across the world, we thank you very much for staying with us on Politics Today. We'll do this again, God willing, next week Saturday. Till then, stay blessed and bye for now.